I'm Rapaport Stereo Podcast. I'm excited about this. I am here with the good liars, Derek and DeVram. Jason and
Very
DeVram.
close. Yeah, there we go.
So now I told you guys, because I'm so used to your character names, I was thrown off by that. The good liars are here who... how could you explain who the good liars are and what you guys do?
DeVram.
Well, the Good Liars, we kind of do comedy in the real world, usually, socially and politically aware stuff. We started during Occupy Wall Street.
Okay.
So it's been a while now, and we posed as investment bankers, and we started a movement called Occupy Wall Street. So we were going to out-occupy the occupiers.
Okay.
We thought we're going down there to shoot like one video,
And we told the protesters there, listen, if you guys keep doing this, we're going to have to give up our cocaine habit. We're going to have to sell our third home. You got to stop this whole movement.
This stuff's expensive, and you guys are trying to take our money,
Like
basically.
you're fucking us up.
Yeah, exactly.
And then we got real investment bankers that joined what we thought was a joke. They actually came and joined our protests, non-ironically, and joined the Occupy Wall Street movement. And from there, we realized, one, we maybe don't have a sense of shame.
Right.
Because we will go and do crazy stuff in the real world. And there's something, there's points to be made by doing crazy stuff in the real world that hopefully has a point.
Right. We were kind of saying what we thought people would say behind closed doors out in the open, and that seemed to have legs. So we continued on with it.
Got you. All right. You guys have a film that I saw and I love, and I think everybody's going to love, that is starting to stream the 4th of November, everywhere for free. The Supporters is streaming for free the 4th of November, today, November 4th, or whenever you're seeing this video. But you should be watching it today. I mean, don't you think people should be lined up to watch this?
Yeah.
Or listen to this I Am Rapaport Stereo Podcast. It's I Am Rapaport Stereo Podcast with the good liars. The film is The Supporters, so we don't need Marvel, DC.
No. There's
Rocky.
there's too many of those. These are the new superheroes. The superheroes for a new generation.
Right.
Derek and Dale.
Right.
Yes, our character.
Now, did you just come up with that right now, the superhero, or have you been thinking that The Supporters and the good liars are the superheroes for a new generation?
Maybe we've been thinking about
We
it.
got to put that on the poster.
I definitely got to put that on the poster.
I think because if you didn't, if you,
Subconscious maybe.
because I that might have been. I feel like you've been sleeping on that and waiting for it to go.
Yeah.
Anyway, the film, the Supporters, is out now, streaming worldwide. I love it. I am honored to be a producer on it. And I'll just explain it in my point of view, and then I'll let you guys break it down. In my point of view, what it is it's a Jackass, Johnny Knoxville, Borat, Eric Andre sort of attack approach on every single thing that has been happening politically in the last 4.5, let's say 5 years. And the guys go on the street and it's performance art. They are in their characters as the good liars, Derek and Dale, and they get gold. And they've gotten gold and they've went super viral. I found them. I knew about them before I saw the film. And then when I heard about the film with the Midas guys, I was like, absolutely, I want to be a part of it. Because as listeners of the podcast know, politics has become something that I've jumped into in the last 5 years only. Literally, Occupy Wall Street. I was like, you freaks are out there. Like, I didn't give a fuck. Literally, it was Trump. It was Charlottesville. It was the disrespect of John McCain, who I couldn't tell you anything about other than he was a war hero. But I was just like, how fucking dare you speak about another person who served this country this way? And I saw their videos. There's plenty of videos online, but I want to pull up and I want to pull the first one that I think is a classic one, where you guys were in the room with Trump. Set this video up, You're Boring Us video.
Sure. We were in New Hampshire, and this was actually, I think, the first video we ever did with well, that's not true. But the first one we did in the 2016 election.
This was 2016.
This was 2016.
Before he was president.
Before he was president.
Oh shit!
So we were I guess the second row at a Trump rally, and we had a couple things planned. And then in the middle of the rally, we started getting bored with him. You know, he's like just saying the same crap over and over again, repeating himself, talking about himself. We started talking to each other, being like, if we called him boring right now, that would hurt his feelings more than like any other insult you could throw at him.
But it was really genuine. I mean, there's all this energy in the room, all these people waiting in line in the cold. It was freezing. Some of them wearing shorts. I still don't know why half the people were wearing cargo shorts, but people are in there. There's like, the room is packed. And then he starts talking and it's all the same shit. And it just, the energy slowly died. So like Jason was saying, I mean, we had a couple other ideas. And in the moment, we're like yawning. We're, what's going on here? This is actually boring.
Wolf, please pull up the your boring video.
Hopefully someday go back to their home.
This is boring. Boring. Tell some jokes. This is
Something, entertain us.
This is boring.
Come on.
So, very important.
We're bored.
This is. Are you serious? This is boring.
This is boring.
This is boring.
I'm so
I love you,
bored.
but this is really boring.
Donald, you're boring.
Boring. Boring.
That's the look right there.
So those that's real time of his reactions.
That's real time. Yeah.
I just want to articulate how much I love that video and how much I appreciate just that alone. What it means to me, and I'm sure what it means to people that have watched it and the people that are just seeing it now and hearing it now, how much that means to me. And so when you did that video, that's a 60-second clip, I think. Maybe not even 60 seconds.
Yeah.
About 30.
30 seconds of fucking magic. That's 30 seconds of pure, that's just so you know, young filmmakers out there, people who want to tell stories, in 30 seconds, just know and be inspired with what the fuck you can do. You don't need camera rigs, you don't need special effects. 30 seconds, you can make fucking pure magic. So after that, what happened?
Well, the first thing that happened is we realized we left our coats in there, so I had to go
Did they throw you out or you left?
Oh no,
he's getting thrown out. I'm
Physically?
Oh
yeah.
Who's doing it?
His security people.
Are they goons?
They were like his. Yeah, I guess you could call them goons. Goons is a great word to describe them. They weren't the Secret Service guys. I think he had Secret Service protection, but it wasn't. It was like his private security guys. And they said, "Hey guys, come on, take the hats off and let's get out of here." And I was like, I'm not taking the hat off. I'm gonna wear this. I get let out, and then I could see the cameras, and I was just like, it's really boring. I mean, we used to love him, but he's just getting really boring. So they could film that on the way out. So you see a Trump supporter getting kicked out. But they were, I think we got our coats back though. They
Yeah, it was a
camera
mess.
guy
I think our
got it.
coats got thrown at us, and then
That's
we
even
were
better.
Yeah.
What from what you guys have seen from that before he was president, and since you've been around so many events, so many rallies, January 6th, which I want to get to, the temperature and the climate in the country, because you guys are on the ground, from his most objective point of view that you can, how has it changed from that video or to when you first started going in the Trump regime, in the Trump reign, the Trump campaign, to January 6th, or even to now, November 4th, when the supporters is out worldwide. So just explain that, what you've seen and how, when you look back, you go, well, this period of time, this is how it changed.
I mean, it's been said, but he mainstreamed this craziness. You mentioned John McCain and treating another human being like that who served this country and everything. It felt so outlandish before. It's like those kinds of attacks on people, that way of treating people is kind of ordinary to see now. And when you talk about, January 6th, these conspiracy theories that would have seemed crazy, totally crazy, are now beliefs held by a serious segment of this crowd. So when we were there on January 6th, interviewing people, talking to people, And, whereas a year before, people might not have known who Q was. Half the people there are like, yeah, I know about Q. I love Q. And today's 1776 2.0. Like, that's the change. And it's a very short time.
Wow. What is QAnon? Can you explain it? Like, I mean, I've tried to learn about it. I watched these fucking documentaries. I read when did that become a thing that you guys were aware of when you were going out? Like, when did you become like, this is like a thing? And then when you were seeing people with the shirts, like, when did it become a thing that you guys like realized it was a real sort of?
I think it was 2019.
2018, we started talking about it. Like, what is this fairy tale people are talking about online? And then by a year later, it was.
And then in 2020 out there, it was like, a quarter of the people you talk to would be like, yeah, John F. Kennedy Jr. is still alive, and he's going to be vice president with Donald Trump. He's going to come and take Mike Pence's spot.
And if you don't think they're serious, he bet this woman $100 that he wouldn't be back by September, and you haven't collected the money yet.
Well, she hasn't paid me yet, which is a little rude because
it is
I won
rude.
the bet.
It's rude.
To my knowledge, he's not vice president now, John F. Kennedy Jr. because
As far as how do you know that he's not the vice president? I mean, it's because it's presumptuous.
That's true.
Right.
Everyone's
That's the whole
entitled
thing with
to their
these people.
belief.
Everyone.
But how do you know that he's not the vice president? How like, I mean, do you really think you won the bet? Like, I feel like you're sort of being
Next week
disrespectful.
on
Is there a
your
way
show,
to prove
there's going
it?
to be a cork board with a string attached to like all these different people. It's going to be a conspiracy theory show here.
my guy that they think is John F. Kennedy. What's that freak's name?
Oh,
Fusca. Not Anthony. I always want to say Anthony.
Mickey?
It's something
Fusca. Fusca.
Have you ever had the honor and the privilege of interviewing John F. Kennedy Jr.?
Oh, yeah.
You met that guy?
Yeah.
Does he think he's John F. Kennedy Jr. or is he playing into it?
Conveniently, he won't talk about it if you ask him about it, but he will take as many selfies as you want and just kind of smile along with it. He's clearly enjoying the attention, but conveniently, nobody will actually say it. They're like these drops of information that happen in the middle of the night that are shared, and all these people feel like they're part of something, but none of it comes true. None of it ever comes true.
None of it comes true.
But if it is John F. Kennedy Jr., it's like the best disguise ever.
Yeah.
Because John
Wolf,
F. Kennedy.
can you pull up the fake John F. Kennedy Jr. guy? Go ahead.
He's
I mean, how do you do that to yourself? How do you get like 6 inches shorter?
right.
And you
that
grow.
was the craziest thing
yeah.
about meeting him. I was like, I'm 6'3", and I was like, oh my god, this guy's 5'7".
It's just like
if you just
Google,
Google,
fake John
yeah.
F. Kennedy Jr. guy.
And Fusca. Fusca.
Yeah.
It's
an incredible
pretty
disguise.
incredible.
And the fact that he started working as a financial analyst before John F. Kennedy even died.
Right.
That's the craziest part about that.
He's been living in Pitt. There he is with the hat on, and he's next to
right
pictures.
there.
Oh yeah, that's from our video.
Is that from our video? Are we
Yeah, right
mentioning
there.
it?
So people are. So when you see him out and about, did you ever see anybody acknowledge him as John Jr.?
Well, we did when we saw.
That's our video right there at
that's-
CPAC.
that's- we were like, oh my god, it's you, it's John F.
Blink
Kennedy
twice
Jr.
if you're JFK Jr. Of course, you can't help but blink because that's how the human body works. But he's been living in Pittsburgh for 30 years as a financial analyst of some kind. Like, it's well documented. He's got a family. He's got, I think, kids who grew up going to school there.
Dead ringer for him.
Yeah.
Really, look at it.
I mean, just look, right?
Eerie, really. Can't
But
believe
to
it.
answer your question, yes, we saw him at another rally, and people are whispering, "There he is," and taking selfies with him, and they actually believe it.
You could pull him down, Wolf. Okay, that shit's crazy. When you guys are doing the videos, when you're out and about, we talked possibly about me joining you at a Trump rally, which, I feel like would literally be putting myself in danger. Like you guys, I think they turn on you, right, when you guys are in character. Whereas me, I think they'd be like, get him.
Right.
Like now, get him now. What's the most danger you've ever felt doing a video? What's the sort of most uncomfortable you guys have ever or situations you've ever put yourself into?
Besides January 6th, which is like its own thing, that was definitely the scariest situation we've been in. Both January 5th and January 6th, honestly. 'cause
What was
both
January 5th for you guys?
we were in D.C. And we got to DC the day before because there were some events with like Alex Jones and Mike Flynn and Roger Stone and like, just like all of the all-star of crazy. And the people there was like a militia that basically had like set up a perimeter in DC.
You'd see these guys on their walkie-talkies and all their camo and their tactical gear, and if you interview people, which we do, they'd come stand next to you like, oh, is this part of the fake news media? Just trying to intimidate you. And the police presence was like, I mean,
sparse.
Yeah, so
on the 5th.
On the 5th, so
Fifth and sixth, honestly.
kind of walking around like, who's in charge here a little bit. And then the speeches were out of another place and another time. It felt like
1930s Germany.
It's
I
the
think
place
it's
and time.
place and
It was like the way they're all gesturing, the crowd like frothing at the mouth. It was just like felt like this is gonna go wrong. Obviously, we couldn't have predicted what happened, but it felt like it was gonna go wrong.
Did you guys? I'm not. They told you so, and I thought it was so obvious. I had went on my social media a few times. I told my wife a few times. I was like, January 6th, it's going down. Because when Trump put that tweet out, that it's going down. I had been saying, there's a video of me saying January 6th is going to be a fucking shit show. And I know nothing. Like, I know nothing. I wasn't planning on going there. I don't go to rallies. Like, I wasn't there January 5th, but I was like, January 6th is going to be a shit show. What did you think was going to happen on January 6th? Like, what did you guys imagine it was going to be?
Well, we thought there might be. DeVrom kind of called it from the beginning. I was like, it's probably going to be fine. Like, I'm an idiot, I guess, is like the moral of that story. But I thought maybe there's going to be violence, and it would be protesters and counter-protesters or something like that, or Trump supporters versus police. I didn't think they were going to storm the Capitol. And when that happened, we were actually leaving town.
Yeah, we were sensing the temperature rising. Plus, like the last 5 people we'd interviewed had said, today is the Civil War. Like, okay, maybe it's time we leave. Maybe we get out of town.
You pussies. What the fuck, man? All this fucking work, and now's your moment to fucking shine, and you want to leave town when it's time to storm the Capitol? You fucking pussies, man.
I mean, that's what we were saying to each other off camera, trying to psych each other up. But at the end of the day, we were like, let's not be the reason violence erupts. Someone recognizes us.
Right.
And so there's a little bit of like, concern for that. Like, let's not be the faces of that starting. So we're on the way out of town, and we just see the mob of people moving from the speech toward the Capitol. Like,
And you were not in the mob?
we're in the car leaving town, and then we pulled over just because.
We were like, Trump didn't tell them to go there. That would be insane if he told them to go to the Capitol, because they were, the vote was happening.
Right.
Were you at that Trump rally? Were you at his speech that before?
We were on the outside of it interviewing people while the speech was going on. And then as he started speaking, we were like, we're going to go get our car and we're going to get out of town. But then once we saw that everyone was going to the Capitol, we pulled over and like we were now at the Capitol where all the people were storming. We saw them break through the steps and like the war cry get let out as they, beat the hell out of all these cops who, from our vantage point, we're getting the shit kicked out of them. And like, we're actually like acting heroically, I thought, the Capitol.
Absolutely. The people I saw, one guy was like in tears thinking he's watching all his buddies die in there. It was like pretty traumatic. And, at first you're not thinking it's going to get to that point, but it was like, wow, that's like 5 cops on those steps. I wonder how they're going to hold all these people back. And then it just floodgates open.
How close were you to that? Like, how close were you guys to like that crazy shit that we've all seen?
Well, the steps, I don't know. We were on the side of the grass, and like we're kind of consciously like not trying to like trespass onto like, and thank God like we didn't commit any federal.
Yeah, because
crime.
apparently it's a crime. You can't just go walk around in there and break shit.
Yeah,
and apparently if you do the crime, you might not do any time.
Not do any time. Yeah,
Like some of them, like my poor guy who I was really on hard. My guy, the QAnon shaman.
Yeah.
That poor bastard. Have you ever interviewed him?
No, we know. I don't think he was ever at an event that we went to. He was like,
he's from Arizona, I think.
Yeah,
He's
was
out
like
out
he's a
west more.
Coast
Yeah.
crazy guy. So I don't even know if we saw him on the 6th, to be honest.
Because I was on him hard, but then I'm like, he's got 4 fucking years, and I'm like, what about the other famous guys from January 6th, and like some
One
of
of
these
the
people,
militia guys, the guys in the camo.
what is zip tie guy and his mom?
Yeah,
Right.
right.
Well, why isn't zip tie guy and his mom in jail?
That's just a.
Or what about the guy who
mother-son
put
fun.
his feet
Yeah.
on Pelosi's desk? Like,
Yeah.
what's his name? Bingo or Jimbo or some shit like that?
Richard Bingo or
Richo
something.
Bingo something.
I think it's Richard Bingo. Get the guy back to jail.
Before we get a little bit more in specific to the film, can you pull up that other video? This just one of those second videos, Wolf.
This is from CPAC.
I gotta be honest though, I'm wearing the sunglasses because I partied with Don Jr. last night. You guys will love this story. Last night, so we were hanging out with Don Jr. We're blowing lines all night long. Don Jr.'s telling us he's gonna run for president. Now I don't know if this was the cocaine talking.
I believe him, even though he was
He's
high.
good. He's good. He's good.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
you were that messed up, boy.
Great.
I haven't gone to sleep.
Oh.
So if you see Don Jr.,
You'll be wearing sunglasses too.
Have you ever
more
been
of
in
a
the,
light, fun one?
That's more like fun. Have you ever been in the presence of Don Jr.?
yeah, a couple times. Times.
And what was that like?
Unfortunately,
Like how much of his face is punchable? Like how because not that I would ever do that, but
Right.
like you want to punch that fucking face, right?
We saw him in Iowa the first time it was actually during the caucus, caucus night. And we saw, and of course we pranked a lot of these people in the movie, all the Democrats. He was the best speaker that we saw. Very charismatic, quick-witted, and I know that it's easy to make jokes about him because like Daddy Please Love Me, all the stuff with his relationship with his dad, but he is a really charismatic guy.
Yeah, it was like a stand-up act. He had
Was
people
it?
going.
Yeah.
Yeah. But to answer your question, I mean, if his face is pretty punchable,
Right.
You know, you'd want to. Not that we would ever do anything
No.
like that, but yeah, he's pretty hateable. But you can understand what's likable about him. I mean, he just goes down the list, kind of like his dad. He's got like the greatest hits that are just making fun of everyone they want to hear and make fun of, and
It's also self-deprecating in a way that his dad isn't.
Ah.
It's a little bit like it's a little scarier, to be honest. But I don't think he has. To his credit, maybe he's not missing part of his brain that Donald Trump is missing. That makes him like especially
Or not missing the
dangerous.
same part of the brain.
Same, yes,
Right.
exactly.
He might be missing a different part.
Some other parts from the.
Do you think he'll run for president someday?
I never say never, I guess, but not when his dad wants to run. I mean,
No.
not in the
No.
next,
No.
Right.
Yeah.
But who knows? I mean, the Trump name means a lot to half the country right now. So, out of all of them,
out of all of them, it would be him. I guess for a time it would have been Ivanka, but he's a great speaker. So
yeah.
So you saw him get the crowd hyped up.
yeah, definitely. We saw him on a miserable day in Pennsylvania. It's cold, wet, terrible, and everyone was just eating it up. So
Well, you had been kicked out of that event before he spoke, so
I said-
I saw him there.
Ted Nugent was on stage, and I said, "Shut up and strum," because I'm so sick of his fucking political opinions.
All
Right?
these
Just be a musician already.
Fucking strum a
Just
fucking tune,
strum a
man.
guitar. We don't want to hear it anymore.
Cut the shit, man. Play
Yeah,
us a
exactly.
fucking, play us a
Play
fucking
a song,
dude.
and everyone took offense to it.
Yeah.
Told me to leave.
Bunch of snowflakes.
Yeah.
Honestly. He was very, very sensitive. You know,
He was. He actually said he was going to bring me to his deer camp, which I think is a hunting thing, and use me as bear bait. So I don't.
On stage?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
That's. Do you have that video?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Wait, pause for a second. Is that video on your thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you pull it and send it to me so I can?
My phone's over there.
It's
I need that video, and yeah, I need that video, and send me the January 6th video because I can't find it.
I did send it. I don't know if you
Oh, wait,
forwarded
hold
it
on.
along, but it would be the other one where I'm standing there with a microphone, about to talk to someone. I think that one might be. No, not that one. Not that one.
Hold
sorry.
on, not that one. I have it. Hold on. This is the Ted Nugent video.
They hate law and order. They have legalized lawlessness.
Shut up and strum!
What's this guy want to tell me that law and order is a bad idea? Get that douchebag out of here.
We don't care about politics. He's just a Hollywood elite.
Right to your camp, I can fix it. I can use some bear bait. Are you with me?
cool.
Yeah, cool crowd there.
Do you Where are these people? Where like half of the country is supports Trump, and not everybody's a whack job like some of these people at the thing. Where are these people? They're all over the place. Because I think that we think like, oh, it's definitely in New York City. We're like, well, they're not there. I mean, we saw the other day in New York City the huge. Did you guys go to that anti-vaxxing thing outside of the mayor's office? That would have been good for you.
Yeah,
guys.
We were reading about it.
We were doing an interview at the time, and then I went to the one down by City Hall on Monday, the past Monday, but there's like the firefighters were there,
right?
The other day, and so that was
which is crazy because everybody respects and loves and just gives so much admiration to firefighters,
right?
And then you start to think maybe they're I don't know. It's so fucking complicated.
Yeah, I think it's like an
where
emotional.
Are you guys at with the vaccine, like and all this shit now.
I mean, I think that you follow the science, and you should get vaccinated.
Right.
Sounds like people don't get as sick as often, and
Right.
like we've been getting vaccinated for ever since I was born, and
Right.
it seems like we've got a big amount of the population that has gotten it. We have very few instances of anything going wrong. It's like it's a no-brainer to me, and people use people getting sick from the virus somehow to double down on being anti-vaxxers.
Right.
I can't follow the logic.
If you guys had to go to a specific place in the country that you thought this would probably be the scariest or the toughest or the wildest place right now, based on all like where would you say, what part of the country, what state, what county would you think is like, this place is fucking bugged out, or we've heard, or we got to wear some knee pads or some shin pads?
The weirdest, I guess, people we've talked to, or the most out there. I don't want to say it's specific to any place, but like in Georgia, the last 2 times we've been there, we've talked to some people that like had some real out there ideas. But then we went to Ohio, and a guy thought that Joe Biden had a body double, and that Donald Trump's still president, and that there's an actor playing Joe Biden in the White House right now, and that real Joe Biden's in Guantanamo Bay.
And in
like,
addition to
that's
that
Ohio.
stuff, he also said some crazy stuff.
He said some stuff that like wasn't true as well. No. So like there's the South, obviously, but then like
Because you're from Kentucky.
I'm from Kentucky, Louisville, Kentucky. Yeah.
So what's popping down there right now? And don't say, "Oh, I've moved away. I'm in the big city." You're like,
I've moved away. I'm
John
in the big
Voight and
city.
Midnight Cowboy with your cowboy hat. Like, what's going on down there?
I don't, I have friends that are still there, but like I don't have any family there, so I actually haven't been there in a long
Okay.
time.
So you
Fuck,
moved
I
out,
knew
you're
that
in
was
the
coming.
city.
He's fucking,
Big city.
got
Yeah.
he's fucking John Voight.
But they have there's the governor is a Democrat,
Right.
and like, but they also elected Mitch McConnell again this
Right.
last year, and it's overwhelmingly a red state. So I wouldn't say it's the craziest state, but it's up there.
I think there's something with red states turning more purple and people having like a really strong reaction to that. And I guess that's happening in certain places in the South. I mean, what Jason said, we've seen it everywhere, but I actually arrived in Georgia one of the times we went there the night before Jason did, and I just went to check out this rally by myself, and it was a Stop the Steal rally, and it was fucking insane. I mean, it was like
Why?
They're on stage like Lynn Wood, and what's her name? The
Marjorie
lawyer?
Taylor?
Oh no, Sydney.
Sidney Powell.
Okay.
Up there telling everybody like it's time for revolution and don't go vote. Because the system is rigged. When you're watching a bunch of people upset about, the country and then telling them not even to participate in the democratic process, I think it's like just a step away from like calling for violence. It's like the whole system is broken. Nothing's gonna fix it. Don't even go vote. And
Damn.
It just made me feel like there's a certain part of the country that is like really far gone, and just being in that crowd was scary.
It's not geographically because Facebook is everywhere.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
Facebook is
Meta
everywhere.
is everywhere.
You mean Meta?
Sorry. So
Please. The guy spent a
Right.
lot of fucking money yesterday.
just to make
weirdest
everybody
video I've
Yeah,
even
Meta.
more
Get it right,
creeped
man.
out by him. Yeah.
Can you, Wolf, pull that January 6th video right there?
I'm here on January 6th in the biggest gathering of losers in Washington, D.C. in a long, long time. Here's one now.
I'm gonna have you take one of them. Yes, sir.
what would you say to Donald Trump if you were talking to him right now?
I'd say you're the greatest president of our lifetime, and I'm 65, and I've seen a lot going on that is so false and fraudulent, it sickens me, and I will die standing in my boots as a patriot for this country. If this goes wrong, it's not gonna be good.
There you have it.
Yo,
Such a great dismount.
I mean, that's an hour before everything went down. You know, it's like this is what the people were there for.
that was the vibe.
Yeah.
And he died.
That dude died?
The only thing left was his boots.
Shit.
Yeah.
Yo, Wolf, pull that as a clip, just right there. Just mark that, because when I say I need a clip, that's the clip. Damn, that's fucking good. So, all right, your film, The Supporters, which is coming out today, November 4th, streaming worldwide. Where can we watch the film? Where can people watch the film today?
It's out for free this week on thesupportersmovie.com.
And get it now, because, like he said, it is out for free now. But I don't think it's going to be out for free forever, because I believe that people will want to pay to see the film. I believe that people will be entertained by the film. And I think that we should be talking about Academy Awards because of the work, the content, the timing of it for Best Documentary. Or is it would you consider it a documentary? It's not a documentary. It's a comedy.
It's like it is a comedy, but it is a documentary.
It's a
in a way.
But Borat wasn't a
I
documentary.
think it's technically a documentary,
it
right?
technically
Bringing
is.
our characters, we are playing characters, but into the real world. Everyone else in it is real. So we're documenting what people's reactions to Derek and Dale are, and Derek and Dale's journey through the real world. So I think technically it is a documentary, but we want it to be funny. So
when did you guys think and plan to take the cumulative amount of stuff and make it into a film?
Well, in the beginning of 2020, we shot kind of a proof of concept for it in 2018 with these characters, which was like a short where like, does this have legs? And then in 2020, we started filming. We had a whole outline for a movie that did not involve COVID-19 because we had no idea that there was going to be a global pandemic. So we started shooting in Iowa, all these pranks with the Democrats. And then COVID happened and we had to rethink the whole movie. Not only like the story of the movie, but how do we shoot this movie? How do we do it safely? How do we, do it safely for ourselves and for other people?
And if we're taking Derek and Dale through this time in our country, then Derek and Dale have to get sidelined by COVID too. Like this has to affect the story. And then as this election is ramping up, like it all had to work. We had to redo the story. We had to think about how these guys would get into the conspiracy theories and everything surrounding COVID, and also dovetail that in with the election. And it just became a huge challenge. I mean, in a good way, we hope, but that the journey of the film was kind of the journey of the country, in that it stopped, started with all these waves of COVID.
I like that. I mean, I know that how hard it is to shoot any kind of film. I know how hard it is to shoot a documentary. And did you guys finance it yourself? How did the whole movie get financed?
We basically we shot it ourselves, and then we teamed up with Midas afterwards for the finishing it and all that stuff. But we went out and shot it, and it really we had two camera guys, Peter Barr, Peter Richardson, who went on the road with us, and basically, we're putting in long hours for very little money, and we wouldn't have been able to do it without them. Mm-hmm. But it really was like, for a lot of it, it was a 4-person crew.
Right, and then our editor, Jonah Oskow, came on after, and everyone just did it for free or incredibly cheaply, knowing that, like, we couldn't fund a movie in the same way that we could have maybe before the pandemic. We couldn't take it around to people. People weren't buying things. So it was like, we're doing this or we're not. And everyone kind of got on board. Everyone, meaning like the 5 of us.
Right.
Did you guys, wait, I had a question, man. Sorry. The fuck was my question? How many hours of footage did you have? Because when I did the Tribe Called Quest movie, I had 100 hours of footage. and it's fucking brutal.
Yeah, our editor is incredible. I actually don't know because if it's anything like our previous movie, it was like 140 hours.
Jesus
or something.
Christ.
But we kept going out and wanting more footage and wanting more story to put together.
Right,
and when
right,
you
right.
shoot these stunts, you have to then, if you didn't get exactly what you thought you'd get, and this is in the real world, you have to make it go fit. And so that involved going back and doing a bunch of long days of shooting to kind of make the story fit. So when we thought we were done, we'd rewatch. Inevitably, we'd go back out and shoot.
Yeah, it's
Good part
inevitable.
is like when you film pranks like this, it's like the 45 seconds that I'm talking to Joe Biden. We know that's the money part of that section.
Right.
You know, like there's no question on like Tom Steyer. It's when we interrupt him and DeVrom's coming in with his shirt off and saying he got hit by a car.
Right.
You know, like we know where the meat is
Right.
on the bone for a lot of this stuff.
But it takes a long time to get that 45 seconds.
yeah,
Yeah.
well, that's
And you
been
may
our
not even get the
experience.
45 seconds.
That's the bad part about
And
filming.
then even
like
that
this
45
sometimes.
seconds could end with Joe Biden just zinging you.
Yeah.
Joe Biden
was not our
made him
plan,
feel
really.
pretty sad.
Yeah. I was like, it's in the trailer, but Joe Biden, I confided on and say my wife is leaving me.
He did good, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he did. And
Was there an earpiece? Did you see an earpiece?
no, I did not. And
No, that was.
I was worried, because like you saw him in those debates, in the Democratic debates, and I was like, he is not looking good. And, like he just seemed like he was a little slow. And then when I stood up and like was staring at him in the eyes,
What did you see?
I saw a guy who was looking into my soul and was very present and was very annoyed.
Yeah.
with me. And then
Come
when he-
on, man. He
Come
gave
on,
his
man.
his classic. Come on, man.
And then he said, I'm
Great.
beginning to see why your wife left you. And it was like, and everyone laughed at me, and I'm in character, but it's still,
Still a room
everyone's-
full of
every-
people laughing at you, man.
at my misfortune. So it was a moment where I was like, okay, he's got it. He's still got it.
Yeah.
That's so interesting. So when you looked into his eyes, you saw a guy who could take out Popcorn or Jimmy Crack Corn. Who's the guy he took out in the back and beat him up? Popcorn.
Oh, yeah. What was that thing?
Jimmy. I think Popcorn or
Yeah.
Jimmy
Yeah,
Jim.
something like that.
Like, you want to do some push-ups, guy? Come on, let's go,
So
guy.
you saw the guy who wanted to take you in the back by the school shed, by the.
Yeah.
But if he did come at me, and I'm not like a fighting tough guy, I think I could just tap him and he would fall over.
That's the impression you got.
Yeah.
Not
But
that
you
you'd
saw-
ever do
not that I would do that as the
Not that
president
you're
of the
making
United
any
States.
threats
So
against the
But when
president.
he
of the United
looked into your soul, there was that hesitation. Like he might have been an ass kicker in his day.
He would be fine letting the Secret Service know to beat the hell out of me. is what I got from looking in his eyes.
I got you. Like, you're not.
yeah.
I'm having enough problems fucking making
Right.
it through the day.
Right.
I'm having enough on not shitting my pants up
Right,
here.
exactly.
Now, what about my wife? What about my girl, my love? Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Oh.
What about her?
A lot to love about her.
What about Mia Moore? Marjorie Taylor Greene. What can you tell me about her essence? Because that's what I was asking about, like with Trump Jr. and Trump. Like when you're around them, you get an essence of when you're in the same room as a person. Like Wolf's over there, and you're like, this guy's a fucking troublemaker.
Right.
Like he's over there, like the guy running the boards. He's breaking our fucking balls. He's a fucking trouble. Like you're like, he's no good.
Yeah.
So when you're around Marjorie Taylor Greene, do you get that? Is there like a red beam of like light coming off her? Like what is her essence when you've been around her?
It's like her essence, I would say, is like a room temperature can of Mountain Dew. That's what I
very
felt
well
like was
said.
coming off of her. But I don't know. She's a dangerous combination of like angry and stupid and like she knows the buttons to push, but there's not a lot of intelligence behind it. So you always hear her say this shit, and it's kind of unbelievable that it's like the stuff she says is a rallying cry for people because it's so dumb. But she does know, in the way that Trump does, how to emotionally like pull stuff out of people.
Have you seen her progress? Because she's definitely getting better and better. Like, have you seen any progression in her, or is she just like she started like a fucking bag of rocks and she's still like a fucking bag of rocks?
I mean, in the movie, we've got the clips of her. It wasn't even a year ago. I guess it was a little over a year ago at this point, where she was talking into her phone, being like, "Q is a person. He's a patriot, and it's all real." And she believed that QAnon was real. Like that feels like you were seeing that same judgment and that same like mental capacity going into leading her district. Like she's not very smart, I guess you could say, but she's also like, sure of herself and kind of has that same confidence that's like fake it till you make it, like Trump, where it's like you don't make a mistake if you never admit you made a mistake, which is kind of like she's
Right.
never going to apologize
Right.
for anything. And that's dangerous when you've got people that are willing to like, commit violence in your name kind of. I don't know if you were very close to her, so I don't know. You had maybe a close.
I mean, thankfully, the room she was speaking in was like a third full, and people were kind of like, "What are you talking about?"
This is before her single went to the top of the charts. Because now she's a chart topping artist.
She is. I mean,
She's like online, but I don't know.
In real life, so it's not like people come out. She's not drawing crowds.
People didn't know who she was in Georgia.
Yeah,
And like
it was
interesting.
It's an odd thing. I think she makes the sound bites and they go around
Interesting.
online, and I
The
do
left
think it's
kept-
powerful, but it's I don't know. There's a self-assuredness that is not based in any knowledge, and it's kind of terrifying. And she'll never admit she makes mistakes. She just said any Republican who votes with any Democrat should be voted out of office, and it's like it's just an obstructionist, like fuck you type attitude that I guess people are behind.
If you guys had to bet right now, individually, who will be the president in 2024, what would you say?
John F. Kennedy Jr.
Because he's
Without a
not going to
doubt,
settle
it's
for
gonna be
vice
John F.
president.
Kennedy. Yeah, he's not coming. He didn't fake his own death just to come back and be vice president. So he'll be.
So you think he's
Next question.
All right, The Good Liars, the film, the supporters.
Donald Trump is going to run. He's going to run in 2020.
Yeah, I forget who said it recently, but they're like, he's not going to be able to sit back and watch someone else do it. It's not for the love of the country.
No.
But he's not going to sit back and watch someone else take all the spotlight.
No. But I'm saying, do you think he'll win?
I don't know.
People are saying it's favorable for Republicans kind of across the country, and I guess this isn't like a courageous stand because I'm only going to say a little more than 50%, but I do think it's probably a little over 50% that he would win.
Is there a part of you for business and for The Good Liars? You know what I'm going to ask you. You're like, shit, man, we could go really, now everything we've known and we have skills as filmmakers and we made a documentary. Is there a party that's like, I kind of miss them and I would love for The Supporters Part 2 4 years after, like 2028, The Supporters Part 2,
It would be
2028 in
like
3D.
a documentary, and much like Harold and Kumar, it would be Escape from Guantanamo because if he comes, we might be in Guantanamo Bay.
Right.
You might be too. Like
Don't link me in with these fucking commies.
the
I'm
three
not
of
in
us-
part
Anyway,
of
watch
this shit.
our
do everything
movie. Watch
together.
our movie.
Yeah,
that
that
you're
fucking
a
commie
producer
shit
on.
here. I'm not no
Watch our
fucking
movie.
Guantanamo. I don't know what they're talking about. Part of this shoulda, woulda, coulda. All right, again, you guys, I appreciate everything you do. I was a fan before I got to meet you, and I'm excited about people seeing what I think should be an Academy Award nominated film, whether it's a documentary or comedy. I urge you to watch The Supporters at thesupportersmovie.com and follow The Good Liars on all platforms. TikTok. You guys on Snapchat?
no.
Wow. What a I mean, I'm trying to fucking. You're not on Snapchat, guys.
Spell that for us. What is it?
Okay, but these guys are on Instagram. They're on TikTok. They are on Twitter. They're on Facebook too.
Yeah.
And The Supporters Movie, November 4th. It's fucking fantastic. I'm proud to be a part of it. And these guys put in all the work. Final question: you're going to Virginia in hopes of getting what creatively, and why are you going to Virginia? Real quick.
Well, the governor's race is happening, and we're going down there. It's a tight contest, and we think that the Good Liars are going to interview some people there, but also Derek and Dale are going to be down there. We heard who are the stars. Of the
interesting.
movie. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, Derek and Dale love being amongst some
That's
like-minded
like your
people.
red carpet kind of, like the Derek and Dale's red carpet event. Like, it's not at the Man's Chinese Theater, it's at Virginia,
Yes.
and it's supposed to be rainstorms.
Yes.
Right, okay.
And there's going to be Confederate monuments down there, which Dale's character has, kind of a thing with, a romantic relationship with. So, yeah.
What is your aspiration in terms of content that you could get from Virginia?
Well, there's the governor's race there, so we're going to be talking to some people there, and also Derek and Dale are going to make an endorsement of some kind down there, and that could sway the election. At
Could
this
be a
point.
big moment if all of Derek and Dale's viewers tune in for that endorsement. It could,
That's 318 subscribers on
Right.
YouTube.
It's a lot.
That's a lot.
18 regular listeners.
And the rest are bots.
Right.
Yeah.
Russian robot.
Exactly.
I'm Rapaport Stereo Podcast. The Supporters film is out November 4th. TheSupportersMovie.com. I appreciate you guys